take this opportunity to introduce our next keynote speaker for the day, who shall be speaking on the topic Enhancing Cash Flow Management in Uncertain Times, Strategies for Resilience and Growth. I would like to take this opportunity and introduce Mr. Manish Singhania, Senior Vice President Finance, KALPATARU Projects International Limited. Mr. Manish Singhania is a seasoned finance professional having more than 25 years of versatile experience in the field of finance and commercial function. In his professional career, he has handled mega greenfield projects, turnaround of stressed and loss-making companies, merger and acquisition in different sectors named steel, non-ferrous metal, power, textile, and EPC. He has extensive experience in business partnering, commercial negotiation, raw material sourcing, and contracts management. So can we all put our hands together and welcome Mr. Singhania, everyone, on the dais.
Good morning, everybody. So what is the post-midnight tweets today? Because nowadays we wake up with the post-midnight tweets of the Trump. Any tweet? Any news? Good. Any news? So no news is good news, because nowadays we are accustomed to wake up with getting some news which may not be good looking, which may be uncertain, which may take us to I would say all of us have lived with COVID, and last 5 years, if we define, all these things are there? Yeah. Sorry? No, I will come. First we have to acknowledge the problem, then we'll come to the solution. So first thing is, that's what, yes, solution will come once we acknowledge, is there any problem or not? If there is no problem, if nothing is broken, then what you will fix up? So last 5 years if we define, I think all of you agree. And in fact, I remember 2019, when second term of Modi government started, and I presented one keynote in May 2019. That time the zoom was that, yes, India is going to be 5 trillion economy. That type of optimism was there, that type of discussions, of course, digitization, how the economic growth will improve and all those things, how India become, those were the topics of the day. But do you all agree, yes, last 5 years the outlook has got changed? Right? It started with COVID, that was existential issue or problem coming to all of us, which definitely we might have not seen, which got adjusted moment it started recovering. Then we started facing the supply chain management dependency on one country, and one country dependency, how they disrupt the entire supply chain management. Then globalization became village, yes, every country took its own step, its own stand. So globalization became now of course the trade war. So what is the situation? If we want to define, what is this situation which we call? Known term, VUCA? Uncertain world. We all are accustomed with the VUCA. Budget, is it limited? The way in this which we are looking, is it limited with VUCA only? Or it is much more graver? Recently I got my medical tests done. Normally I was accustomed, yes, there is a pre-fasting sugar test. Yes, if it is in control, yes, I was happy. Then only I came to know there is a now new technology which has come, H1BC. Last 3 months test. Your fasting test may be in position, but this is something like which is gives you much accurate result. So I think VUCA is a bit lower level. Now we are into Bani world. We don't know from where what will come. It's a brittle, anoxious. So problem is more aggravated. It's much more uncertain times where as a business fraternity, we are not sure whether whatever decision which we take, it will be for the long term, whether it will be successful, whether we will be able to implement also, even after successful implementation, whether the desired results outcome will come, will be able to achieve or not. And that too, much beyond our controls. So it's a very, very uncertain time. Now, all of us know, yes, we have certain metrics for measuring business performances. Of course, whatever I will tell, that is before advent of the startup. Now, in case of startup era, before startup era, there used to be certain metrics which I believe, yes, all of us who have grown up in pre-startup era, yes, turnover, profitability, net worth, market capitalization, what is the capacity, market share, these are the things. Now, of course, with the startup era, everything is disillusioned. There is only one valuation. How many are from startup here? I salute all of you because we itself and myself, I always say that yes, I really don't understand because the way we have been graduated, it's like that, yes, business performance, business is profitable, profitability is the first indicator. If business is not making profit, we used to be anxious. Here the overall game change is changed. We proudly, as a startup world, proudly person says how much cash I have burnt. Series A, B, C, Series X, Y, Z. So how much you are able to raise the money, and that's what all of the finance professionals, yes, who are working in the startups, their life is definitely very, very tough because you have to be very, prove yourself, portray very confident for the future and get the funds. Not for the growth, for burning further cash. Definitely it's tough life. COVID, all of us were sustained COVID period. What was from account for finance perspective, what was our biggest learning in COVID era? From finance perspective, I'm talking. Work from home. Yes. Even the productive or not productive, I don't know. Yes. In fact, any other? Cash is king, yes. So COVID period was eye-opener for all of us. First thing, yes, rightly said, work from home. The way we were graduated, the way we were trained, and the way we were working, for as a finance professional or finance team, it was a norm, yes, you have to sit 12 hours into office. Anything you have to do, if you have to be in office only, otherwise finance ka to kaam hoga hi nahi. Be it accounting, be it taxation, be it the fundraising, anything, yes, person has to present into office only. Otherwise, it's a leave. Yes, work can done, business can happen without physically presenting to a particular location or office. That was the biggest eye-opener for all of us. Secondly, of course, it prioritized digitization process across all the companies, big, small, and all those things. Earlier also there used to be a lot of things, but that was restricted to the much larger companies where they had. From business survival perspective, this was the era I would say across all business fraternity, across any sector. Everybody was talking of survival. Whether business will survive, whether company will survive or not. Right? All do you agree? We have seen lot of companies failed, closed down. We have seen lot of companies got lot layoff, but at the same time, lot of companies could survive or weather that uncertain time also. Because of what? Sorry? Yes. Planned cash flow, I don't agree. The companies who had the cash reserves with them, liquid cash reserves with them, they could survive. They could at least meet their fixed expenses. They could pay to the employees at least in time. They could pay to their suppliers, or whenever afterwards, whenever lockdown was opened up, at least they were in the position to again restart in the faster manner. Whatever your profitability, whatever your turnover, whatever plants, whatever employees, whatever decision, nothing worked that time. If you had cash, you could survive. Just before lockdown, I was working in the company, which was part of Dirty Dozen, and just before lockdown, December 29, 1929, insolvency got resolved, company was taken over. And the company got the substantial funds recapitalized for the future growth as per the resolution plan. And I always used to say to my team members, it was a blessing in disguise. Timing was good because the company had much longer cash reserves. So even if 2 years nothing happens, at least company has funds, they will able to survive. So the cash flow and afterwards, cash flow has become the one of the, and I think all of you agree. Now earlier, maybe ROI, maybe payback period, all those things were there. Nowadays, any business decision, cash flow is one of the metrics, how the cash flow will be impacted. So, somebody said cash flow is the king. Yes, cash flow is definitely king. It's the lifeline of the business. It ensures survival and growth. Now, the topic is how we enhance, how we improve the cash flows in case uncertain timelines. Cash flow management, all of you know, all of us practice on day-to-day basis, every time, whenever, every day. I would classify this entire journey into three different areas. Maintenance or sustainability of business, survival mode, and growth path. These are the three business areas, and these three business areas, the strategies of improving cash flow or enhancing cash flows definitely will be different. We all know, it's very easy, yes. What is cash flow? Yes, inflow, outflow. How you improve inflow, how you reduce your outflow, how you reduce your entire cash conversion cycle. If we all were talk about the working capital, what is your working capital period? We all study negative working capital. Few companies have the negative working capital also. Trick is simple. How you improve the inflow, how is the faster inflow comes, how you are able to delay the payments or outflow, you will improve the cash conversion cycle. Right? Budget is easy. All of us face the problem. Whenever points come, time comes, issue come for the collection, your sales manager, sales head, marketing head will come and say, this is the industry norms. You have to give 90 days credit. You have to give 60 days credit, otherwise sales will not happen. On the other hand, your procurement manager will always on your head. These are the suppliers. If you don't pay in time, they are small suppliers. If don't pay in time, they will not able to supply. But this entire complexity, as a finance head, as a CFO, you have to manage the cash flow. Gone are the days, earlier days was there were the compliance norms which a bit relaxed. You had the good relationship with the bank manager, you could have gone and tell him, yes, thoda delay hoga, he would have managed it. Nowadays, single day delay reporting to RBI. You may be having very good turnover company, very much EBITDA, one day delay gets reported. If you delay payment to MSME, if you delay the payment to tax authorities, taxation and complications, immediately gets reported, immediately corrective action starts. So it's like simple. How to solve? Any answer? All of us, you must be having your management meetings. And in fact, what I'm telling, I have practiced it. Just jokingly, maybe 1 or 2 times tell, along with your HR per head to CEO, sir, there is a question, there is a job rotation. I think, sir, sales director is very good. He can be shuffled as a procurement manager and let procurement manager try the sales. Because they are experts, sales guy is expert in prolonging the collection. He will use that skill, prolonging the payment. So point is that if you put the pressure to the respective person, go to the salesperson head, tell, yaar boss, collection nahi hai, I don't know how, or you to CEO, boss, salary ka committed liability is there. I think salary may be delayed, but collection is not coming. Immediately CEO will work with your CMO to ensure what you want as a collection comes into that time. In case of procurement, again you have to, somewhere you have to use the strategies, assess as per your industry norms, how much leverage or how much stretching respective department is having it, and then you can stretch it. This, of course, I told as a management style. Institutionalized style, all of us know offset balance sheet items, yes. Now the products are available, factoring available, bill discounting available, where by which you can try to improvise your cash collection cycle, by you can prolong get the payment faster, as well as prolong the payments to the vendors. With that, you can mismatch or match the timings of this entire thing. That again, it depends, but point is that trade-off between profitability and cash flow. At what cost? Because ultimately, if you are prolonging the things, there will be associated cost either in the form of discounting charges or in the form of the increased cost. So that is the call based on the business model, the business EBITDA, profitability, and how much you can afford as a cash flow cycle, where what is need. If it is a sustainable model, probably you may have trade-off towards it profitability. If it is survival mode, then definitely probably you may go press the button where you require the cash faster, even at the higher cost. I have practiced, and in fact I would not, it is not advisable in case of the sustainable business continuity model or in case of growth model, maybe in survival model. I have survived, I have discounted the future receivables, just to get the cash to run the flow. Advances from trade, the advances from the customers against the advance future supply, so that I can buy the raw material, run the company. But that was the question of the survival. In case of growth model or in case of that business continuity model, definitely it's not advisable because you have to maintain the balance between the, time up, sorry. So another 5 minutes then I will take. Yeah. So then, okay. Now second point which comes, of course, cash conversion cycle is there. You have very good business model. You have very business profitability is there. Business is growing. But when this is a case where the business is growing, you have good profit, there is always tendency where you keep on investing on the fixed assets or non-core fixed assets substantially compared to whatever is required. That is the non-core assets model where you keep on investing. Again, this is the one of the area where you can generate, unlock lot of values by using that, monetize your assets, non-core assets. And I'm not saying it's only sell-off. Yes, again, it depends upon if you don't require those assets for your business, that can be sold it off. But example of, I would say, electricity power companies. Earlier generation, distribution and all those things were common. Those are disintegrated. In one of my earlier company, it was a steel manufacturing company where we implemented this model. We have the slurry pipeline, which was used for the transportation of the raw material, not directly linked with the manufacturing setup. Of course, that was integrally required for the running the plant. Without the transportation of raw material, you cannot do it. But again, that was needed, of the cash flow was needed, and top class long-term cash flows infusion was needed. What was done? We demonetized slurry pipeline. We sold it off. We took it, leased it back to for us, because it was used for us. It gave the long-term funds to the company to improve your entire financial health. And then, of course, CapEx got converted to OpEx. So this is the models where, based on the requirement, you can work upon. I will close this session because, of course, time is already one. One quotation, of course, again, it's not in public domain. One of the earlier company, Vedanta, where I worked. And this is the 2008 period when this global meltdown came. And our chairman, Anil Agarwal, he started, and of course, that was, we went to greenfield capexes, and it was huge capexes projects, greenfield projects were implemented. So one of the review, and that mandate was that you defer or delay the projects or defer the cash flows and all those things, and renegotiate the orders and all those things also. So I always remember the quote. He said, I have deep pockets. I have deep pockets. So reassuring all employees and suppliers and every associates, don't worry, company has sufficient resources, but I have short hands. I cannot spend money. I have, you be assured, but I will not give you liquidity or funds. I will preserve the funds for the uncertainties. So the key takeaway is that in uncertain time, we'll have to be more cautious, preserve the cash, unlock the cash wherever is available, whatever resources is available, but at the same time, two things we'll have to ensure: cash flow versus profitability, and time management, assets liability management. Current assets, if we keep on funding from the long-term liabilities, that will burst at some point of time. Thank you for patience here.
Thank you, Mr. Singhania, for such an engaging session. Can we please put our hands together for the gentleman once again? I would like to now request Mr. Prithviraj Dora, Head of Finance, IT and RD from Stellantis, to do the honor of felicitating Mr. Singhania.